Hey, everybody.
Hello.
This is Pretend Problems Podcast, and we have a Patreon. That was hard to say.
We have an announcement. We've been talking about that the Patreon's coming, and it is officially live right now. You can go listen to our first mini bonus episode right now at patreon.com/pretendproblems. We're going to get into the tiers more in depth in this week's episode, but there's a $5 tier a month, a $10 tier a month, and a $20 tier a month. Said that kind of weirdly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There are 3 different tier options.
And there's also an unlisted $1 million tier that you can just send to us directly. There's no extras.
Yeah, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle,
Just
whatever.
hit us with that cold mill.
Yeah. So we've got bonus episodes for you every month. We've got Pretend Problems bracelets if you're one of the first 50 to sign up for our 3rd tier. There's so many things, guys. So it's patreon.com/pretendproblems. And again, we will get into it a little bit more during the episode, but please go sign up and listen to our first mini bonus episode.
Do it.
Do it. Okay, enjoy the episode. Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems Podcast. I'm Kelsey Cook.
And I'm Barack Obama.
How timely.
It is a little timely.
Yeah. Oh, we're not a political podcast, so we won't get into how we feel about that shit. Unless you want to. But.
No, here's how I feel politically. Whoever can stop the rain from coming in the cabin gets my vote. Yesterday we were gone for a while, and we left the windows open. And Kelsey had mentioned, it's raining. What do you think? And I go, I was looking at the trees, not a lot of wind. Mm-hmm. So I thought, no, we'll be fine. Well, apparently our screens were on fire, and the fucking fire department came and sprayed water all over through the screen. I mean, 4 feet into the cabin, the couch was soaking wet. The chairs at the dining room table were soaking wet. The carpet that was just put in, soaking wet. It was crazy, like squishing around.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm reacting hyperbolically right now, but when it happened, we just were like little carpenter ants. Mm-hmm. We were just like, oh, well, we have to fix this. So we're going to dry this, and we're going to put towels down here, and we're going to take the covers off the cushions of the couch, and we're going to wash those and put those in the dryer. I mean, we went at it. There was no anger. There was just a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that.
I know. I'm so impressed with how many changes you've made.
Yeah. I would have, in past years, I would have been like, oh, how wet is this cabin? Let's see if this fucking thing can start on fire. Let's see how wet it is. Challenge accepted, bitch. And I would have gone for it, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you that I don't remember what my patience levels were like in a situation like that before my mom got sick, but after my mom got sick, it's just like things get put into perspective so differently in a situation like that, especially because stuff always comes up with the disease, and you have to go like, okay, well, this happened, this is so shitty, but now what? And I feel like that's kind of bled into the rest of my life too.
Well, that's nice, because every general disposition test I've ever taken online, I've gotten shitty. That's what it says. It says, normally we don't even have this category because it's cursing and this is a family test, but you're shitty. Even when we went golfing. So we decided to go golfing, and this is our fault, right? The weekend of July 4th is to golfing as St. Patrick's Day is to drinking. You get all the rookies, all the punk-ass bitches, if you will.
Well, let's drink green beer and see what happens.
Yeah. And on the golf course, they're like, I haven't had a cigar in 40 years. Let's see what this is going to be like. Well, I know I got to put the cigar down, then I got to go to my ball, and I got to really waggle, because that's what I see the pros do. I got to waggle the club, and I got to move my butt, and I got to adjust, and I got to do all that to whiff, to not be able to hit a ball sitting on a fucking tee. And then I got to go take another drag and ask my friends, how did that happen? I don't know how that happened. It's only the 13th hole in a row it's happened. I'm still confused. Then I'm going to walk back. Those guys in front of us were so fucking slow. And then we got hit into because it seemed like we were being slow, but we were just waiting.
Yeah.
So then that's when I said, let's just skip some. Well, you said, why don't we skip some holes? And then I had to find a way to go to what hole we were going to skip to, right?
Yeah.
So all these guys being dummies. So then we get to the hole we're going to play, and I hit my tee shot, and then
right into a small family.
And then out of nowhere comes this. It's like, I thought they would have been on the green, been done, because we saw them ahead of us. And they all had hit the ball to the right, apparently.
It was like the Stuart Little family. They were just a bunch of mice.
It was insane that then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm a dipshit. So talking about perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like overall, truly, in the last few months, your whatever your degree of like quick to anger was before has been turned so far down. And now I just see it like little popcorns occasionally,
sure,
but like much less. You weren't super happy that you couldn't find your sunscreen the other day.
Nope, I wasn't.
Like,
because it was supposed to be with what we've talked about in the past, with these potential letters, August 2nd's the big day that I get my little entrance thingy.
If you're new, the potential letters we're talking about are ADHD.
Yeah, and whatever letters you use to spell autism. Now...
And Chad has an evaluation with a clinical psychiatrist.
Well, autism starts with AU, and that's fucking gold, baby. First place. That's gold.
It's gold,
so,
Jerry.
yeah, I wasn't happy because now I put my keys and my credit cards. I put all that stuff in one spot where I know where to look. Mm-hmm. Put my sunscreen in one spot where I know where to look. But then you asked if you could use it, and of course I said yes. Mm-hmm. We share stuff. And then you put it very close to where it should be. Mm. You put it in the door.
Yeah.
In the hidden compartment of the door.
Because you didn't tell me that there was a special sunscreen spot.
Yeah.
For your puzzle brain.
Yeah. So then I went to look for it and couldn't find it anywhere. And I'd been looking for it for about 20 minutes.
Now let's be real. Really, you think you're looking for 20 minutes?
15 for sure.
Can I ask why you didn't just come to me sooner?
Because I felt like, well, I should be able to find this. Where is it? And then I finally came in and you were in here. Yeah. And then I said, do you know where my sunscreen is?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I put it back in the car. And my thought was, the fuck you did. Because I've looked in the car. But then it was in a door compartment. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wasn't thrilled about that. So I bet that is a popcorny thing. I'm glad that my degree of quickness to anger has slowed down. Now, my degree of quickness to shit has sped up.
Chad and I are flip-flopping in our dietary restrictions, kind of like what's going on with food allergies for us. And we went out and we had pizza, which was so exciting that I can eat pizza again. And then I had ice cream for the first time in 10 years.
Because you take a lactate.
Because I'm taking lactate now before I have dairy.
Now, I have something in my body that I can't take lactate. It's just like this dairy destroys my body.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm not, whatever you have.
You're allergic to the protein.
Sure.
To the milk protein.
I don't even know what it is. I just know I'm not supposed to have it, and it hurts my tummy. Well, I've had an iron gut my whole life. You know what I think it was? I think that I probably, my stomach hurt all the time when I ate ice cream, but I'm like, you fight through it because it's fucking ice cream. And now I have an answer for why, and that drives me crazy. You know how like when someone has AIDS and they give AIDS to somebody else, they don't lose their AIDS. They have to keep their AIDS too. It's not like you really give it completely.
It's not a baton. It's not a relay.
Yeah, it's not. We're not playing tag.
Yeah. Tag, you have AIDS.
Oh, that is the ultimate.
I mean, we can't title this episode "Tag, You Have AIDS," but that's it's sure a sentence.
I'm just thinking about it right now. That's an Olympic sport. So that's what it feels like with you. It feels like you have fully given me all your bullshit. And here's the thing. I remember thinking one time, and maybe I've said this on here, but I remember thinking I would actually give anything to be able to take away your things. I will take them so you can have pizza. But can I tell you something? I made that wish without thinking I wouldn't be able to have pizza. I take it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really sweet thought, but to actually not be able to have those things is a nightmare.
I went from 0 to shit ski in about 3 seconds. I ate 1 piece of your pizza. No, 2. I guess I had 2 because then I ate 2 pieces of your pizza. I had a salad. That's what I do. I have a salad, all good intentions. And then the pizza comes. I'm like, I better try that.
Yep.
And then we had ice cream.
And when Chad says he has ice cream, this isn't like a scoop of ice cream. This is like a pint of ice cream.
No, it's 2 scoops of ice cream. That's what the thing is.
But at that place, the size of the cup and having it come out the top is the size of a pint. It's a Ben
I
and
can't
Jerry's
help
pint.
how they make it. It's a big Tex.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, in terms of somebody who like apparently is allergic to dairy, you having all that, and then tell people what happened when you came back.
Shout out to Big Fish Kayak Company for having the greatest ice cream in the tri-state area. But I'm allergic to it apparently. So I get back here and I'm like, oh no, I think I have to go to the bathroom. And then I'm like, nah, I don't have to. I think it's just gas. And then a pain was in my intestines like I had not felt in a very long time. So I went upstairs and farted on the toilet for 24 seconds. Now, this might be a little inaccurate. I know we talk about poop a lot, but just listen, 24 seconds?
We don't
With
talk
the
about
Olympics-
Chad's poop a lot.
with the
It's almost
Olympics
always
coming
me.
up?
Yeah.
24 seconds is pretty good. And I can't be exact because I started counting around the 5-second mark when I thought, oh, this isn't even close to done. And just a trickle, just like someone started a Harley but didn't rev it. Just an idle of a Harley Davidson. No like, oh, there's a bunch of girls. I better fucking nothing like that. And then it ended with a machine gun force rabbit turd. Just a little tiny pellet that somehow splashed my butt cheek. But when I turned around to see exactly how big it was gone. So it either disintegrated on impact, which is possible because of the speed, or the force, it just flushed itself. It just flushed itself.
Oh,
like a fucking Olympic swimmer where you think they go all the way to the bottom of the pool and then just make a thing. That's, I think, what it did. And that was it. White Glover. Didn't have to whap. I didn't need the bidet. Nothing. It was just like,
oh God.
I might have shit out a kidney stone. I don't know.
It's a Civil War musket. Just the long barrel was your fart, and then pew.
Yeah, and then I just get my fucking plunger and reload. That's for a different podcast.
Oh God.
Called Daddy Likes.
Daddy Lake.
So that's what I've been going through, and I think that I would be more prone to fight through it.
Yeah.
If I didn't know that what was actually happening.
And now, once you know that you're hurting your body, once you know that it's causing inflammation, it is hard to keep doing it.
Yeah, because 2 summers ago, I didn't have a lot of ice cream last summer, but 2 summers ago, I had lemon bar ice cream. I'm going to say every week. Mm-hmm. And my stomach would hurt so bad, and I'd just go, it's probably bad lemon. Maybe it's just
You know how often lemons go bad.
Maybe my body's so anti-scurvy that I don't need any fucking citrus, and it actually hurts when I have it.
Oh, fuck. That's so funny.
Thank you.
The things we tell ourselves.
Yeah, it is.
And then, so Chad has his fart machine gun pellet night, wakes up the next morning, and is like, I can never have ice cream again.
Yeah.
Period. End of sentence. I'm never having ice cream again. And I was like, I hear you. Because I got sick in the night too from eating ice cream. Even despite having lactate, it's just like, it is, you were calling it like, it is the dairy of the dairy. It's the dairyest. Yeah. So we were both like, yeah, you know what? Ice cream's just not going to be the move for us. And I had kept some of my cup of ice cream.
Listen to this psychopath. So she's sitting there with I get a thing called a Big Tex, which is a scoop of each in a cup. She gets something called the Little Tex, little apostrophe Tex.
It's a kid's scoop.
With just like, two other flavors in that. She goes to get another cup, scrapes the top scoop off, and she goes, I'm going to save this. Like a pour from the early 1900s.
No, it's just... I don't love ice cream the way you love ice cream. I'm more of a cookie brownie person.
Yeah.
I like a warm, like a baked good with some ice cream. I'm cold. It's too much cold in my mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I'm craving ice cream, I just need like a little bit. And I asked for 2 kid scoops, and she gave. I mean, they're fucking gargantuan. They're huge, and I was like,
and
okay.
we thank you for it. That
and
sounds like a complaint.
Very nice,
but we thank you for it.
But I was also like,
$5.
This is more than I needed. I'd already eaten a whole bunch of pizza, and so I asked for an extra cup, and I scraped some of it into the other one, and I was like, I'll have the rest of this at another time. We wake up. Chad's like, I'm never having ice cream again, and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have ice cream ever again either. And so I threw that extra cup away
in the dark of night.
No, in the morning.
I know in the morning, but still kind of in the dark of night. I was nowhere to be found. This was thrown away when I wasn't in the kitchen.
After you told me I'm never having ice cream again. And then we're out at lunch and Chad goes, you still got that ice cream? And I said, no, what are you talking about? No, I don't still have the ice cream. I threw it away. You go, you threw it away. It was as if I had told you that I let Poe out in a junkyard 20 miles away, never to be seen again.
I don't think it was like that, but here's the thing. Someone's going to eat the ice cream. The ice cream will get eaten, whether it be by me. And also, raise your hand if you're listening, if you've ever said, oh, I'm not drinking again.
It's true.
And then the next day, a Bloody Mary looks fucking scrumptious because there's a cheeseburger slider on top. I mean, of course, right? So, yeah, I'm bitching about it. I've just been to hell and back with this intestinal pain. And so I just want to put out to the world, I'm not going to have it anymore. Now, what that really means is I'm going to not have ice cream until I want ice cream again, until I'm ready to get back in the pain game, right? No pain, no gain is what they say. And so I wasn't like furious, but I was like, that's ice cream is something you don't throw away. It's as if you had I said this yesterday. It's as if you had a $20 bill and you decided that, oh, well, someone spilled on my $20 bill. I'm going to throw this away. Someone will use it. Someone will spend it.
That's true. You know what? It was ice cream. It would have just continued to be in there and stay frozen, and somebody would have. But I don't know. It didn't have like a lid or anything. And I was just like, well, we're always trying to make room in here. He just told me he's not eating ice cream anymore. I'm not going to eat this. I might as well just toss it. And
yeah.
I get that people go, oh, I'm never drinking again. And then they drink. But it was just it was so funny to me that you were like, I'm never having ice cream again. And then it was 3 hours later that you were like,
no, to be fair, I said I've never had ice cream the night before. Just so you know, it wasn't in the morning.
Really?
It was the night before because I was in the middle of my pain. By morning, the pain had subsided and I was ready to fucking eat ice cream.
Okay.
I was ready to suckle on a cow's teat.
Okay, well then let's call it 15 hours later. You wanted ice cream again, and I was
15 hours is plenty of time to change your mind.
Brosif. And I was like, just don't say that you're never going to have it again then. Say, wow, this really makes me almost shit my pants, but I'll probably keep doing it because I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I always leave that part out. I always think that's like understood, right? Like an understood you in English. Where you say like, take the garbage out. And everyone's like, who? Well, you, motherfucker, you take the garbage out.
Yeah. I think as somebody who's actually had to like cut food out of my life for like years at a time.
Oh, sweetie.
What?
I'm never going to cut food out. Okay. If the doctor says this is going to kill you, then I've had a good life. No. If it's ice cream, if the doctor looked me in the face and said, ice cream will kill you, I'd be like, awesome. Then get ready to not get paid for this visit. Because I'm out.
But you've found some non-dairy ice creams you actually like.
Yeah, well, I found these, what are they called?
They're called...
Dream something.
Dream Pops.
Dream Pops. They're like little bonbons that are non-dairy, and they're so amazing. The only problem is people that can have dairy now are eating the non-dairy bonbons. And not only are they eating them, they're eating the last two. Fucking imagine the humanity. Think about this. The last two, though.
They're like, teeny tiny.
Yeah, but you eat one and you go, I have to leave the last one for the person that bought this.
But I bought the other ones.
Rules of engagement.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to pretend problems. But you know what, guys? Chad and I have been around each other so much lately.
Yeah.
And it really has just been pretend problems. It's nice.
She asked me today, she goes, "Are you sick of me?" Just out of the blue. And I'm like, "No." And then she goes, "Well, we've just been around each other a lot." And I go, Am I acting like I'm sick of you?" And she goes, "No." Well, what's the deal?
I don't know. Maybe I have an insecurity about that.
Okay. Well, I'm not sick of you.
Okay.
I mean, eat the rest of my bonbons again when we're 3 hours from the nearest store that has them. And it will be tested. It will be tested. But guess what? I'll just eat some fucking ice cream and you'll have to listen to me complain about it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Should we do our middle segment?
Let's do it.
Okay.
What is it?
We were going to talk about what's the sickest we've ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Which ties in well to your almost diarrhea.
Oh, do you want me to go?
Sure, yeah.
When Isaac was a baby, Isaac is my son, for those of you that don't know. When he was a baby, I had a horrible, horrible stomach bug. Mm-hmm. And I was feeding him, and the smell of the milk it just smelled so rancid that I'm sitting there with a bucket. He's in my cradle of my arm. Mm-hmm. I'm feeding him. So I prop the bottle up against my tit, hold it there, puking in the bucket.
Oh my God.
And then just like dry heaving him, which is, you know how normally when you burp a baby, you're supposed to like pat him on the back and shake him like this?
Yeah.
From my dry heaving, he burped and puked. Then when he puked, I puked all over. I was speaking of stomach bile.
Oh,
it was so nasty.
Oh my God. And you don't know where it came from?
No clue.
Wow.
And then another time, when the kids were both sick, I ended up getting it, but you're parenting.
Oh God, what fucking hell on earth.
And so I'd be like, "Okay, guys." And they're like, "How are you feeling?" I'm fine. That's just, I don't know. When I'm around other adults, I can be pretty wimpy when I'm sick. Yeah. But when you're sick with kids and they're sick, you just kind of go, well, I mean, this is like, I understand that moms listening right now are like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be like a whatever. I'm just saying that that's what happens. So you go out there and I'm like, so what do you guys want to eat? What do you think is going to feel good on your tummies? And then they're like, well, how about grilled cheese and tomato soup? I'm like, you got it. So then I go into the bathroom and just, gah, gah, and I come out and they're like, what were you doing in there? I'm like, no, nothing. Just getting ready for your stuff. And then I'm like making it. And tomato soup, I'm going to tell you something. After you've puked, no, it tastes like, or it smells like vomit taste. It's
for
got that.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
also, that's like a terrible thing to eat on a stomach flu or food poisoning stomach because it's dairy. So to do the brat diet. And it's like dairy and
tomato
acid.
soup is dairy?
Well, it's usually made with milk, but then the cheese and the grilled cheese and butter. With
Oh
cheese.
yeah, but then the bread, and then also always a lot of saltines with tomato soup.
Yeah. But tomato soup is just, even if you don't make it with milk, it's so acidic. I feel like that would just.
I don't know. They loved it.
Well, kids have iron guts.
Yeah.
Guts of iron.
I used to. Oh, God, take me.
Okay. You guys have heard me talk on here about my hospitalization in Alabama, which was definitely like top 3 sickest I've ever been. No question. But this is like not a food poisoning, shit in your pants sickness, but I got the chickenpox when I was in 3rd grade, which is later than you're supposed to get them. They always want kids to get them young.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, the more serious they get. And there was a girl in my class who got them, and she had this bitch had 5 pox. She was just like, beep, beep, boop. And I got it from her, and I got the fucking devil's scrotum of chickenpox. I had them covering my entire body. It lasted 2 weeks. I had to miss all the school. Oh. They went inside my mouth and they covered my tonsils, and the doctor said that they were all down in my body. I mean, it was every square inch everywhere. And so every time I swallowed, it felt like I was swallowing razor blades
Oh my gosh.
because there were just chickenpox covering my tonsils. And I still have scars on my stomach that are like little white circles from chickenpox.
Who wants to tell her those are herpes? Down your throat. That sucks.
It's horrible.
So then do you know the odds of you getting shingles as an adult?
I don't know. I don't know if like the severity of chickenpox.
Okay. Okay. Because shingles, my sister had shingles and they seem like a motherfucker.
My
grandma,
grandma had them and that seemed horrible, horrible. So painful.
My sister is like awesome. You've met her. Mm-hmm. She's the best. And she gets all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And I bet I'm going to have a horrific death because I'm just sitting here cruising.
Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be horrible. I bet I'm going to get eaten by zebras. Because you think of zebras, you're like, well, they don't even bite. And then all of a sudden they're like, these ones do. And they eat me.
They smell the ice cream on you.
Oh, my God.
And gobble you right up. Do you want to do some tour dates and then get into questions?
Yeah. What's the sickest you've ever been? Talk about it at home.
Yeah, share it in the YouTube comments, please.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
We love reading your YouTube comments. They're so fun. So please tell us. Because it's also fun to like, there's, I think, some one-upsmanship in the comments sometimes where it's like, well, you think this is bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, throw some comments on our YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, nice try, rookie. Mm-hmm. A lot of that. I read the comments. I don't respond to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because I normally read them and I go, oh, that's awesome. I want to think of a funny response. Yeah. And I just never go back to it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good time in there.
I'm going to do my dates.
Okay.
So I'm going to be in Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
On the 12th and 13th. Then on the 15th, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas on Kill Tony with Sam Morrill. Should I do this?
I think it's Morrill, but what? Yes. I think it's Morrill. Sam Morrill.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I think it is.
I'm going to be on Kill Tony with Sam Morrill.
Crepe and crepe again.
And then I'm going to be on Joe Rogan on the 16th. But more importantly, on the 16th is when my Netflix special comes out. So before you leave the house, please, guys, please start it before you leave so it runs throughout. And then I think that week I'm also going to be on your mom's house. And then I got a bunch of other shit going on. I'm going to be out in New York doing some podcasts. I'm going to be on Rich Eisen the next week in Los Angeles with a bunch of stuff going on. Adam Carolla. I'm just trying to get some press going for this thing. And then I'm going to be in Spokane, Washington. And then I'm going to be in Tampa. I'm going to be in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm going to be in San Francisco, Sacramento. I'm going to be in somewhere else, probably. Yeah. I'm going to be in Denver, and I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm going to be in Salt Lake City, and I'm going to be in Las Vegas, all those places. Mm-hmm. So please come see a show.
ChadDaniels.com/tour.
That's right.
Yes. I'm going to be in... Let's think about this. This week, guys, I'm going to be in Charlotte tonight. Oh my God, at the Comedy Zone. And then Thursday through Saturday, I'm going to be in Raleigh at Good Nights Comedy Club. Mm-hmm. Then in September, I am in Baltimore and Fort Collins. In October, I'm in Omaha and Phoenix. In November, I'm in Dania Beach and Providence. And then in December, I'm in San Antonio and Austin. So you can go to kelseycook.com and get tickets there. Also, giant announcement. You will have heard us announce this at the beginning of the episode as well, because we should record a separate thing about that. Our Patreon is live, guys.
Patreon, live.
Oh my God. We've been talking about it for months.
Yeah.
And it's live. You can go to patreon.com/pretendproblems.
Right.
There are so many fun things that we have over on our Patreon. So just to clarify, our Patreon is patreon.com/pretendproblems. Patreon.com/pretendproblems. There are 3 different tiers. You can join the $5 a month tier, and then you'll get 2 bonus episodes a month. We'll be doing like mini discussions after the episodes. It's kind of like a peek behind the show's curtain. We're just going to talk more in depth, maybe share some more personal things. It's just going to be like a fun, how it was like the Talking Dead with Walking Dead. It'll be like the talking pretend problems.
Right.
Basically. And then the second tier is $10 a month. You'll get the weekly bonus episodes, and then you'll get a monthly full on like honkin' bonus episode that will be like more listener questions. It'll just be like an extra.
Mostly listener questions.
Yeah, like an extra giant episode in addition to the other 2 bonus episodes you'll get that are like the little mini episodes. And then the Do Your Bursters. That's the third tier. It's $20 a month. You'll get everything that we just talked about, the monthly bonus episode, the 2 mini bonus episodes, and then the first 50 people who sign up for this are going to get a custom pretend problems bracelet. Oh. We're both wearing ours. The lovely Jenna. Jenna, we're going to get in touch with you and figure out all that stuff. But yeah, the first 50 people, you'll get a custom pretend problems bracelet. So
great.
Guys, sign up and join, and we can't wait.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, let's do some questions. If you want to write in, it's pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
This is titled Getting Back on the Horse, ?
Oh, I need a drink if we're going to do that.
Okay. They say, hi, Chad and Kelsey. Huge fans of you both. Finding Kelsey through Chad and following Chad since the Busy Being Awesome album.
Damn.
I annoyingly corrected my daughters all throughout their high school French classes so they'd learn to pronounce faux pas as the correct Chadified fox paws instead.
That's a deep cut.
Wow, yeah, I don't know that. On to my question. I got married as an infant right after my 23rd birthday, and last year we amicably divorced after growing apart right after my 45th birthday. It's definitely been a long time since I've dated, and it's scary to consider getting back out there. I wonder if either of you have any advice or thoughts on re-entering the dating world after the end of a long-term relationship. Thanks so much. Oh, and don't forget to keep us posted on when and where we can buy Pretend Problems tummy pillow merch.
Oh, by the way, this tummy pillow is in no way an alert that we're swingers. It's a flamingo.
Oh.
And I know when people have flamingos in their yard, it's like, come on in and leave your keys in the bowl. But this is just the one I grabbed.
Yeah. This is stay the fuck out, actually.
Yeah. Stay the fuck out. Thank you.
This email was from Kelly. She says, feel free to use my name if you read my letter. Kelly, well, man, we've got some advice for sure. I've given my advice on this before, but I think it's worth reiterating. And I think it's a great idea to make a list of the things that you are seeking in a partner, but also to make a list of the positive qualities that you feel like you're bringing to a relationship. Because I think it's important to like remember your worth and to have a good relationship with yourself before you go looking for a partner. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, like, and dream big, like make your list truly. If you are trying to find your person, then like you got to be specific and really know, okay, these are the things that are important to me. And I think when you write that list for yourself, the things you bring to it, it helps you feel more confident in asking for those things. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes people are like, oh, well, you know, like probably can't find all of these in one person. And it's like, well, I think if you take stock of yourself, you'll be surprised at like, oh shit, I'm actually bringing a lot. So yeah, I think that's a good thing to do.
I would also go do things you like doing, because then people that also like that are going to be there.
Totally.
Right? Like I had a friend that got divorced and he's like, I'm going to go to church because I want to find a nice woman. It's like, you don't believe in God. What are you going to go to church for? You're going to find a nice woman that believes in God, and then you're going to argue about God the whole time.
Yeah.
So instead, there are nice people everywhere. So if you like bike riding, or you know, like mountain bike riding, then go take a class with that. You're going to meet someone who also likes it.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't like mushy shit between your fingers, don't go to pottery class.
Yeah.
I mean, so I would just say to keep that in mind too. Like go. Also, when you're taking care of yourself, you're going to be much more open to other adventures and stuff like that. So I just think if you are making yourself happy, it is going to attract other good things.
100%. Yeah. Okay, this next one. This is very funny.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. It's titled Diet Coke Dilemma. They say, hey, Chad and Kelsey, huge fan of both of you and was pumped when you guys started a podcast together. My wife and I are both in our late 20s and have been married for 4 years and together for 8. I always knew that my wife has loved Diet Coke, but didn't realize the extent of it until we got married. When we bought our house a little over a year ago, I started to notice Diet Coke cans left out after she was drinking them. Not only are they left out, but also they are never, and I mean never, empty. I love that she loves it and will continue to buy it for her. However, I feel as though we are wasting money with the amount of Diet Coke cans that are unfinished. For context, this didn't happen at our apartment, and she is generally a neat and tidy person that is able to finish tasks, but for some reason this has stayed the same. This is very much the definition of a pretend problem, and we've talked about it, but wanted to get your take on this and what I could do better and what she could do better when it comes to this. You're the best. Thanks so much.
Well, I think what she could do better is stop hiding her alcoholism. Clearly, she's making drinks with these fucking Diet Coke cans. And she's off in the bathroom. Oh, I have diarrhea. Oh, I'm allergic to dairy. I'm going to go up and fart for 24 seconds. And just chugging booze, dude. Chugging a Bacardi diet. What I really think is, this is one of those, on the first episode of this podcast, you said you have a rule where you let something happen 3 times and then you're like, all right, now you need to get your shit together. And one of those things I remember was when I like those little bubbly waters, and I would always leave them on the counter. And you were like, please don't. So now what I've been doing up at the cabin is I mix half and then I put water in it. So it's whatever. But I'm always throwing them away. Because that was part of our deal. So maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to introduce the rule of 3 and just say like, also what you could do, and this is how I live my life because I'm a slimy bitch. I would dump all of the Diet Coke into something like a trash bag, all the empty Diet Coke. And then when it's full, you go rent a backhoe and you tie it and you put it above her car. And then you put a string on it that when pulled will open it. And when she opens the door, the string pulls, unzips the bag, Diet Coke all over her, and be like, she's like, what's this? You're like, you're fucking undrank Diet Coke. See, if you would have drank it, I would have had nothing to pour over your head. Those are 2 options.
Fucking Kevin McAllister over here.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to prove a point.
I am curious if you've looked into the mini Diet Coke cans, because I do believe that they sell pop in half cans or like baby cans.
Yeah, I think they do too.
Because maybe that would be a better fit for her.
Also, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
That's too much caffeine for anybody. Yeah. And it's like the stuff that's in Diet Coke, I don't think it's good for you. I think the thing in Diet Coke makes your brain think you want more Diet Coke. I mean, I think that's the point of it.
Yeah.
It never satiates you. It always makes you feel like you're hungrier.
Yeah.
And so you might want to throw some science at this crazy lady. And she's not crazy. I mean, I'm just being a fool here, but you might want to throw some science that way. I'm going to stand by the garbage bag. That is my ultimate advice, because I think it would be funny. And if you do it, please video.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, because you're bringing up the rule of 3, it does sound like you've talked to her about this and that it just seems like it's not something that is sticking with her for whatever reason. And, you know, what you're saying or what you're asking, what could you do better? I would look into if there's smaller cans. But what she could do better if she really is like, for some reason, not able to make this change and like throwing it away, you might have to actually just have like a serious sit down and be like, look, if you don't want to stop drinking these, like, I can't control that. If that's like a big thing for you, I won't try to take it away, but it really is affecting my mood and I really need you to take this seriously. Like, maybe you haven't expressed how it's getting to that resentment point of like, I really would like to see a change with this. And yeah.
When I was in high school, I hated that my mom smoked. Because it made my clothes smell like smoke. And then when I went to school, everyone was like, you start smoking? I'm like, no, fucking just live with a smoker.
Yeah.
And so I put together a presentation that showed her how much money she would have at the end of the year if she stopped smoking. So 1 whole year. And of course it didn't work because she knew that I would just somehow find that money and steal it. But that is an idea that you could do. You could just say like, this is how much money you're spending. And then in 5 years, you could go on some big fancy dancy trip.
Yeah. I love that you did that. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is titled Baby Maker by Dan from Cleveland. You can use my name. Okay. Hey there, Chelsea and Cad.
Ah.
I like those. I'm bummed you're off Bert's tour by the time I go, but I got to see you both at his festival last year in Memphis, which was delightful.
Hell yeah.
I was already a fan of Kelsey, but I became a fan of Chad at the show. I'll catch you again next time you come to town. FYI, Chad, Cleveland loves to be represented, and we notice when you wear that hoodie.
Oh, nice.
Just watched the latest episode, and I've been thinking a lot about Kelsey's unused childbearing hips. My wife and I have been together. My wife and I have been together for 20 years. We're both in our mid to late 30s, and we don't have kids. We mutually never wanted them. So like Chad, I've surgically severed my relationship with my testicles. So there's no chance my wife will get to experience the miracle of my seed. You guys are funny. The emails you write into us. God, I love it. I still support our decision, but every now and then I see people experiencing the great parts of parenthood, and it makes me sad. I tell myself that I'm simply recognizing the beautiful parts of being a parent, but I'm allowed to be sad that I made the decision to forego it. It's like being bummed that you're skipping dessert because ice cream gives you diarrhea. Weird.
That is very fucking weird.
That's weird that this is what we're reading today. Oh my gosh. There are parts that I know are great, but I know that I don't want to be around for the bad parts. I still don't want kids, but I'm no longer confident that I won't regret it. It's a little unsettling that I developed this new emotion after perma-crippling my nuts. Well, it is reversible.
It is reversible.
As everybody in our lives has told us. And I'm not sure I'm processing it properly. I don't trust doctors enough for therapy, so I'm writing 2 comedians that don't seem exceedingly damaged.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, Dan.
I'm damaged. Quite damaged.
So, Kelsey, did you know you didn't want kids before you were chatted? I hath been chatted. Or did you decide on it once you noticed he was spitting glacier frost from the tap? Dude, this is such a funny email. Is it something you had come to terms with? Do you have moments where you question whether you've made / are still making the right choice? And Chad, I feel like you try not to suck as a dad. Do you ever feel any guilt or pressure that Kelsey won't be able to experience what you got to experience with your children? Thank you both for starting your podcast and being willing to squabble awkwardly in front of the world. It makes me feel normal. I hope to catch you live soon. Hugs and kisses, Dan from Cleveland.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Dan. And I really like hearing that it makes you feel normal to see when we have squabbles on the podcast, because I fucking hate having squabbles on the podcast.
She's not a fan.
Not a fan of it, but I'm glad that it makes you feel normal. And I think it is nice to normalize like seeing it in relationships and not like picture perfect, like Instagram versions of couples.
Yeah, if we came out here like those couples that try to raise money for Jesus.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, y'all. Everything's fine. We started to argue, but the hand of the Lord was upon us. And we just stopped and had hot dogs. It was great. I mean.
We just stopped and had hot dogs.
But I don't want to ever be like, that would suck.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to pretend like we know what we're talking about, and we're going to, people are going to write in questions and we're going to tell them stuff, I think we have to be completely open about the fact that we also do this shit.
Yeah, totally.
Come on, buddy.
So, do you want me to answer my questions first?
Sure.
So, before I was with Chad, I was definitely at that place where I was like, oh, I'm getting older and I should probably start to like really figure this out, because I was seeing, other people in their 30s starting to like freeze eggs.
Oh.
What?
I was just trying to be dramatic.
I see. Starting to see people freezing their eggs, and I was like, I don't know if that's like a route I want to go. And I just got to a point, I had asked other people in my life who were older and didn't have kids, because that's where my worry was. I was like, I don't want kids right now, but I'm afraid that I'm going to be like 60 or 70 and wish I'd had kids. So I talked to some people in my life who had not had kids and were older, and none of them regretted it. They were like, no, like we're really happy. We love our pets. We love our nieces. We love our nephews. It's just like that was the right choice for us. And so I had landed on at that point, like, yep, you know, I feel like I'm one of those people. And then it was hard because being with Chad, like being so in love with him, you do like, there is that part of you that's like, oh man, it would be really amazing to make a person with this person. And not only that, but Chad has kids. So it didn't even have the guesswork of like, oh, I wonder what they would be like as a parent. It's like, I've gotten to watch him be a superhuman dad to his 2 kids. And that's like, that was even more of a like, oh, fuck, he'd be so good at it. Cause I already know he's so good at it. But I just feel like ultimately our lifestyles, the amount we have to travel for work, and just like, not even that. I think even if I didn't have to travel for work, when I go visit my nieces and I see the time and the energy it takes on a day-to-day basis, I don't know that that's for me. And when I talk to my best friends about it who have kids, they're like, yes, it's like, it's the greatest thing and it's the hardest thing. So I do have moments where I'm like, oh, you know, what if? But I think I've found peace in that. Like, I've stopped trying to make myself get to a point where I'm like going to feel 100% sure that I made the right choice, and just accept that I'll probably never feel 100%, and that's okay. Like, I think having kids is such a big life choice that it's okay to be in the gray area about it, because like the only way you know if you made the right choice is to fucking have kids, and there's no taking that back.
Right.
So I won't probably ever know for sure, but I just will know that like it is more of a I don't want them than I do. And I think kids should be like, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you see people that are like, oh, I 100% want children, those are the people that cut to 2 months later are just like, what have I done? And I'm not mocking postpartum or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's like, when you're that gung-ho on it, fuck that shit.
Well, yeah.
A good place to be is 80%.
Really, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because then when you have kids and the days that it sucks, you go, I fucking told you, 20%, I was not ready for this. That kind of shit. It is hard because the consequences of you, like most decisions, right? Oh, I know I'm not supposed to have ice cream. I ate ice cream. I am going to be in pain.
Yeah.
That's a decision I can live with.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want kids, so I'm going to have a kid. Those aren't just your consequences. Those are, that is a ripple effect that could potentially go on for generations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard. When I thought about, I think the question in there is like, do I feel bad?
Do you feel any guilt or pressure
okay.
that Kelsey won't be able to experience what you got to experience?
There is a part of me that I guess, so I don't feel guilt. Had she been like, I definitely want kids, I'm like, well, just not with me. And you're like, well, I'd rather stay with you than have kids. I think that would make me feel guilty. But how it is right now, like her answer she just gave, I don't feel guilty about that because that's a decision that you came to on your own. And I do think like this is something that we've talked about is you have worked so hard to get where you are in your career. And that kind of just, you're not going to be able to go gung-ho on it. I mean, I think Rosebud and Andy, I mean, according to their Instagram, they do a great job of making all of it work together. It's so fucking difficult.
It is. Yeah. I remember seeing Sarah Silverman talk about her decision to not have kids. And the way she said it really stuck with me, where she said something along the lines of, I realized if I had kids, I wouldn't be able to live the life that I wanted. And I think that's so interesting because people often feel the reverse where they're like, oh my God, if I don't have kids, I won't be able to live my, that's what it is. If I don't have kids, I won't be able to live my fullest life. And she was like, if I have kids, I won't be able to live my fullest life. Like that having kids would actually hold her back from I think the level of career she wanted, the amount of freedom. And so that really stuck with me, where sometimes for certain people, kids isn't the way to complete your life. Sometimes for certain people, it can detract from certain things. I mean, I know that the way people feel about them often is like, oh my God, this is a love greater than I've ever known. So.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot to think about. I mean, there are a million pros and a million cons in every situation. And you're talking about a life.
Absolutely. And for women too, I think it's totally different than a guy deciding not to. It's like, I have so many other risk factors that I get to have in that column of like, yeah, I would prefer to not worry about that. It's like the older I get, especially, it's insane. Like I have shit pop up on my TikTok all the time of like, oh, like this rare disease that this woman had and almost died giving birth because she wasn't 22 or whatever. She was geriatric pregnancy by being 35, which was my age, you know? So it's tough, but yeah, I've just come to like find a peace and knowing that I'll probably never feel 100% because I think I would have been a great mom.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I guarantee you would have been a great mom. The only issue is with me is if I do reverse my vasectomy, there's a good chance my sperm have walkers. They're not even swimming anymore. They have to.
Wait, you're going too fast.
My sperm have to get in one of those chairs that lower you into the pool to swim. It would not be good.
It's like the airport walkways, the stand and walk, and yours are like, I'm going to sit down, actually. Can we build a new lane that's sitting? Okay, this next email actually ties in with last week's email. So it says, Ari, second baby conundrum. They say, hey there, Chelsea. Love you guys. Love the show. On the subject on should we have a second baby, let me start by saying I love both my girls and would die for them. However, no one warned us that the second born would be a feral Wolverine. Our first daughter is amazing and cautious and polite and all the things you would want in a perfect little girl. Our second one is just a blend of every terrible personality trait from my wife and I put into a blender and then poured into a baby mold. And then in all caps, it's night and day and no one warned us. This is my warning to the mom who wrote in. Baby fever is real, but the random dice roll that is the next kid is also real. Play those odds at your own risk. Paul, and yes, you can read my name.
Yeah, Paul, I agree with you. I mean, that's why the first kid is always so good. There'd never be a second kid. That is, I think it's in our genetic coding.
Yeah.
I think it's part of our evolution that the first child is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, I used to walk upstairs when I was younger, crawl into my crib and put myself to sleep.
Yeah.
My sister... You know. Yep.
My brother is such an outstanding human being now, but when he was in his terrible twos, we called it the terrorist twos. Like he was so, oh my gosh, just at times. It was like the tantrums were just next level. So, anyway, yeah, roll the dice at your own risk. But okay, guys, please go sign up for Patreon.
Oh, that would be great.
Patreon.com/pretendproblems. We would love to have you because right now, guess what? We're about to record the first mini bonus episode that is live now on Patreon. So if you want another like 20-ish minutes of podcast and like, you know, just behind the scenes on what we just talked about and stuff like that, go to patreon.com.
And don't forget, in 6 days, the special's coming out on Netflix. So it'll be out a day before the next episode is released. Make sure you are, before you go to work, pushing play. Make sure you are calling to get your not fun friends login for Netflix and letting it play on theirs.
Yes.
I'm trying to cheat, and I don't care.
Listen, follow Chad on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook if you don't already. And then if you can share one of the clips from his special, the trailer, put it in your stories and say Chad Daniels special's out now and tag Chad in it. And I'm sure you'll try to like repost.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
for
guys.
coming back.
We'll talk to you next week. We're on Patreon.
Goodbye.